Can he see enough of this red? He can't. Mid-session interval coming up after this frame. And as we always keep telling you, you players over longer matches, play them in little mini sessions. Your target would be to try and win the session 3-1.
Talking about mini sessions, if you say won the first 3 sessions 5-3, you've obviously got a 15-9 lead going into the, you virtually won the match. So
sure,
it's important to treat them as like little matches. Try and win every session.
3.
Seemed to be okay there. Might have got a slight kick. Can he run through here and just finish nicely on the black, or is he might have to slip off the reds, and that was the problem there. It's end of break. Unless he decides to take a very, very difficult black on, but I think the yellow's
yellow ball
best.
Judd trump 4.
Very difficult for a pocket to accept a ball hit at that speed. Okay, he was trying to get the white round the table, which he managed to do. As you can see with the slow motion, the balls are jumping around on the table when you hit them at that pace. Well, he'll take that, Ronnie, but that's not how he played it. You can see the little wry smile from Judd. Ronnie got in the jaws of the pocket, and he was... Have a look at this again. He was playing off the side cushion, and then the top cushion hit the jaws, and it finished perfect. That's why Judd was smiling.
Nine.
Yeah, probably one of the reasons he reacted like that, shaking his head, smiling, is because it could possibly cost him the frame now.
16. 17.
And it's not going to take too long if he keeps potting them the way the balls are situated here. Doesn't have to think too much. They're all nicely lined up. Look at those
24.
4 near the pink spot. Okay, maybe one of them just goes because of the red that's blocking the path. But they're lined up like
25.
4 little soldiers there.
Possibly not after this shot. Well, the bottom one of those 4 obviously pots to the left corner.
33.
That red I mentioned is blocking the other 3 to that left corner. And he's played on that red. Okay, he's going to have to go up the other end of the table, but the brown,
40.
the blue, the pink are awaiting.
Yeah, that was an unusually careless positional shot by O'Sullivan, the previous one, to land straight on the black.
41.
Meant that wasn't the angle he wanted on that red, meaning he has to go up to the bulk end.
Just looking to see where he'd like to place the cue ball, but he'd have quite a margin for error. He doesn't have to necessarily play for that on this occasion. Anywhere near the circle would be okay. A bit closer to the cushion, but they're still available. He would have been trying to get further out into the table.
44.
Can he just run through, use the other one to get on the black? Of course he can.
45. $52. $53.
Well, mid-session interval, as I said, coming up after this frame. He's, what, 49 in front. Needs a few more pots here. 76% pot success rate for Judd, not the best. And he's dropped down to 45%.
58.
No really big breaks,
59.
but some fascinating snooker. Ronnie at a 65 in the opening frame. Judd's just at 42.
66.
Now may play round the table in between the green and brown for a red to the right corner. Don't think he's hitting it hard. Is it hard enough? Yep, the bottom red of
74.
those three will pot to the right corner.
No century break, but Ronnie O'Sullivan will be delighted with his opening session. He's had breaks of 65, 47 and that's 75, and he goes to the mid-session interval, leading 3 frames to 1.
Yes, so the players are on a mid-session interval, and John, Ronnie will be very happy with the first 4 frames.
Yeah, especially after losing the second one, that re-spotted black. He must have thought he was going 2-0 with the black over the pocket that he missed. What you get is, you know, fluent snooker. Scored a 40 and a 34 third frame straight afterwards. 75 there, and of course it changes the score very quickly.
What are we seeing here, Steve? We're seeing somebody who is in his 10th World Championship semi-final using that experience of a big, big event.
Yes, but also we're seeing a player who doesn't seem to be faltering in any department of the game as he's getting older, which is unusual. You start to perhaps see a few cracks appearing somewhere down the lines, but Ronnie O'Sullivan is so strong in every department of the game, and you watch him at the table, as we mentioned at the start, that whatever's coming out of when he's doing interviews, that's not his body language at the table. He's got loads of resolve, and he looks really up for the job. You know, he's sort of umming and ahhing over shots. You see a little bit of frustration when he's at the table, so he's caring about the match, and he's caring about the fact he wants to beat Judd Trump. So that's a fascinating encounter we've got.
And that's what makes it even more baffling when he gives an interview to us last night then saying he doesn't think he'll be back. Because Steve is quite right in saying, you know, we've seen him around the Crucible. He seems really happy. He looks like he's enjoying himself. He gets into the interview room and says, I might pack it in.
It's a box of chocolates, isn't it? It's a line, isn't it? You don't know what you're going to get, do you? It's as simple as that. You do not know what you're going to get. Listen, the main thing is, as long as he's focused out on the table, it's always been the case with him, really. We've seen this in tournaments before. The most comfortable he looks anywhere is out there in the arena.
OK, boys, for the moment, thank you very much indeed. So the players are on a mid-session interval. We're now going to continue our look back at the history of snooker. Today, we're looking at the 1970s, the snooker, the stars and the fashion.
In 1969, the World Championship returned to a knockout format after a 12-year hiatus of challenge matches and inactivity. Lancastrian whippersnapper John Spencer claimed the first title of the modern era, but it wasn't the crucial event of the snooker year. That came when wildlife expert David Attenborough, then controller of the new BBC Two channel, decided